That's right, man. You and I have been talking about it for a little bit, too, that the NBA is having an issue that other sports aren't having, or definitely not at least at the magnitude in which the NBA is having it, and that is viewership issues. You know, yesterday you and I were talking about Caitlin Clark, whether she should have been Time Athlete of the Year, whatever side you come out on it on. One thing we talked about was the WNBA. Viewership was up. You got women's tournament. Viewership was up. You talk about the Major League Baseball this year. What was the common denominator again? Viewership was up. The NFL has averaged more. The highest they've had is 17.3 million viewers. It's highest since 2015. So they've gone up as well. So everybody's kind of having this where at least at worst they're staying packed. If not, they're moving up with viewership. And the NBA has been the opposite. The NBA has gone down. You're talking about down double digits, 10% from last year. You're looking at the in-season tournament right now. The NBA Cup is down 10%, and it did pretty well actually last year. Not the case this year. And the NBA this year as a whole is 28% down year over year. That's crazy. Almost a third percent down, and really almost half, Rob, since 2012. 48% down. Viewership has gone down since 2012.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not.
So you start to, okay, if you're saying why, what is the issue here? Well, for me, it comes down to three things. One, Steph Curry has ruined the NBA. That's the first one, and I'll explain what I mean. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter we have ever seen. Steph Curry is a wonderful talent, one of the greatest players of all time. But he has a natural gift, also a gift that he has honed in on his craft and gotten better at, and that is ability to shoot threes, ability to shoot from deep, ability to take shots that at most of the time growing up, you'd be on the bench if you took that shot. He mastered it. He's great, and it is the reason why it's been spectacular and fun to watch him. The problem is the second point. Nerds with numbers. Analytics has started to ruin the game, and I don't even just mean basketball. I mean baseball. Baseball had to mess around and retweak some things because they got too carried about the numbers. Football, they had to retweak some things. They got too carried about passing. That's why we're seeing this resurgence in running the ball and defense. Well, the NBA isn't there yet. It's all a bunch of nerds saying a three is worth more than two, and if you draw a foul, it's worth. So you got guys, just trying to draw fouls. And they saw Steph Curry hitting these threes, and they said, well, we need to do more of that. The problem is everybody can't shoot like Steph Curry. Everybody isn't built like Steph Curry. I don't need my 7-foot center shooting threes because analytically, if you shoot it and if you happen to make it, it's they're taking away from what made the game great. And my last point I told you was 3 is I blame Jay-Z. Not because all the other stuff, I'm saying Jay-Z for years said, I don't write rhymes. And people started, or the rappers started to go, well, he don't write rhymes, so I ain't going to write rhymes. What they missed was his point was, while he was out in the streets hustling, he couldn't write down his rhymes, so he had to mentally write them down. They were still coherent. They were still written. And what happened with music, specifically hip-hop, everybody started to be him, and I don't write rhymes. I'm just go in there and let the spirit move. I'm a freestyle. And music started to become trash because guys were trying to emulate him. Similarly to how guys are trying to emulate Steph Curry. Everybody can't do it. Everybody ain't built for it. And they shouldn't have nerds who never even played the sport telling the sport how to be played, and it's made it unwatchable at times. And then you also add in, lastly, the load management. Everybody became, I got to win the championship, so I got load management. I got to wait. I need a rest. I need this. And it starts to be like, well, shoot, if you don't care, I don't care. If you ain't playing tonight, well, I guess I'll wait till the playoffs when you do care. And you combine all that, you put it in the blender to me, and you have the recipe to being 48% down viewership in the last 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and mostly to blame for me is the 3. The other night, the Thunder in the first half took 31 threes.
That's crazy.
31 threes. Like seriously, 31 threes. Who wants to watch that? Seriously. Who?
It ain't Larry Bird shooting 23s either,
Those guys didn't even come close to that. They needed 3, they would take a 3. They weren't up there just chucking up threes. We saw an All-Star game where the final score was over 200. You're asking why people don't want to watch the All-Star game anymore, why people don't want to watch a lot of these games, because they're just not aesthetically pleasing.
There you go.
There's more to basketball than just making threes either a three or a dunk at the basket. My God, really? Is that all we want to see? No. And I think fans have revolted. I mean, they're just like, I don't want to watch this. I've been covering the NBA since 1987. I've said it a million times. I've sat courtside some of the biggest moments in NBA history. I was there when Michael Jordan made that shot over Craig Elo in Cleveland. I was there. And you know what? The brand of basketball, I'm not an old guy yelling at a cloud. Kelvin, you know this. Mm-hmm. It's just not fun to watch.
It's not.
It's not. I don't care what you say. It's not hating on the younger generation. Oh, yeah, everything was better in the old days. No. These are young people who aren't watching the NBA the way they used to. When the Pistons, sorry, Rob G, beat the Lakers in 2004.
He just said a tear.
He hates when I bring that up.
Yeah, he just said a quick thug tear.
Yes, he hates it. I was a columnist for the Detroit News, covered, Kelvin, every game. Mm-hmm. You had to go watch. I watched every game from 2-0 all the way through the game. Mm-hmm. Can't watch the whole game anymore. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not excited about it. There's a ton of players, and we get it. LeBron's older and Steph or whatever. But there's some other players that nobody wants to see Wemby. I keep hearing, there are no stars. You don't want to see Wemby? You don't want to say John Moran? You don't want to see, there are some names and people, you don't want to see any of those guys?
The issue too, Rob, is that if you look at some of the greats and you look at what they were great at, what we say about MJ, MJ fade away. MJ was mid-ranging you to death. So would he not be that guy now? Because technically, you better to shoot the three, so you have to shoot the three. Tim Duncan was fundamental, post moves all galore, off the glass. Kevin McHale was an artist down there. Mid-ranging you to death was Larry Bird. Magic Johnson was running the show, getting guys easy buckets in the paint, wherever it mattered. Fast break, whatever, easy buckets. You know how many teams are historical teams we love to talk about because it was what? Defense, hard nose. And we've lost that, the competitiveness, the edge. And maybe it is hard to feel that way when I'm a middling player and I'm making $15, $18, $20 million a year. And maybe it's hard. But I just think the game has lost, the artistry. It used to be Patrick Ewing was a big man who could hit the elbow, but he could post up. He was aggressive, blocking shot. Like, where is that? That was regular. Meaning it was him, it was David Robinson, it was Hakeem Olajuwon, it was Shaq. It can go down the line. That wasn't just an anomaly where we got Jokic, the one big guy who's in Embiid who used post moves. You know what I mean? Like, it was a multitude of post moves. It was a multitude of point guards who got in the paint, who distributed. It was a multitude of guys who could shoot. We had every type of game. Kareem with the skyhook, and we've lost that. We've lost the competitiveness, and I just think all of these things. And lastly, too, all of these kids play. You don't care about your game in current basketball if you're a teenager if you don't have your own private trainer. If you don't have your own personal private trainer who's teaching you how to essentially find a way to do a step back three, that's all they do. And it's the reason why I tell young people, I say the same thing. It ain't me hating just because I'm a little bit older than you. It's that, yes, I will give you most of these guys can probably dribble better than all the guys previously. I'll give you that. Maybe a center can dribble better than maybe. But they don't know how to play basketball better than them. The actual play the game, win the game.
Can I also give you, I want to give you, here's a good comparison. This will help you. You ready? In 2015, 2016, the Warriors' three-point attempts per game. You ready? Mm-hmm. Take a guess. In 2015 2016 season.
They're probably shooting about 28.
Okay, close. 31.6. They were first in the NBA. You got me?
I don't even want to hear it.
The Raptors in 24-25 are averaging 31.1 three-point attempts per game. Where do they rank compared to the Warriors were ranked first at 31.6 in 2015-2016. The Raptors 31.1 now this season. Where do they rank?
What are they, 20th?
How about dead last? And there you go. Dead last. 31.1 is dead last in the NBA.
And
does that not tell you something right there?
That tells you, because everybody isn't made to shoot these things. And that's the challenge, too, is that you're telling them, no, the money, the analytics say this. So then you got guys who should never be shooting these because I won't get in trouble. The reason why we didn't shoot when I played in high school and when you were playing back in the day as a kid and everybody was playing, or if you played in, I don't care if it's elementary, high school, or college, it was a bad shot. And it's not that it's saying, let's try to get an easier one. Let's work it in. And if it's there, it's there. If it's a wide open three, you got to take it. All right, give what the defense, take it. But the idea that you just come down and chuck it out the blue, and it's something to say about LaMelo Ball. It's fun to watch, but it's a wonder why, as gifted as he is, his team ain't winning. You can't just take shots from the logo all the time and think that's just a great shot all the time. Steph Curry is gifted. He works at it. He has a special gift, literally. It's the reason why he's amazing at golf. I guarantee you he's great at darts. His hand-eye coordination is special. I don't need 6'10" guy I've never even heard of. As I swear to you, I'm watching it right now. That's what just happened as I said it. This Atlanta and the Knicks game. Some guy I literally don't even know, just shooting a three. Like, what are we doing here? And it becomes, and slowly but surely, fans are like, it's not even fun anymore. It's not good anymore. And then again, I think load management plays a role when guys are sitting out 2-3 nights.
People definitely got turned off by that. They're paying big money for tickets.
Yeah, I'm going. I don't know. I'm all excited. I didn't push my date. Hey, babe, let's just do it Friday. It's a big game Thursday night. Nobody's playing. Hey, I bought this ticket to take my little son. It's gonna be the one time we need to go to get. Nobody's playing. So I think all of these things, you add it up, you slowly get a fan base who has options, by the way. I can just see the clips. I can just do prize picks. I can just, I'll be on my phone on YouTube, Instagram. It'll show me some clips later. And I think it's starting to hurt the game a bit. A lot, actually. NBA is down drastically, and really the only major sports league that's down.
Yeah, you can't use it. The commissioner tried to say, the World Series and the election and all that. It's not true. Like the other sports aren't suffering like the NBA.
And it can't be rough. 48% since 2012. It'd be like, all right, we had one random dip off the last couple of years. Okay. Dude, year over year, and to your point, baseball, historic year. Not obviously it was a literal dream situation, but still, it happened. It happened. Dream situation in women's college basketball, WNBA, NFL's up, best rating since in 2017. Everybody else winning, and this has been the most star-driven league, and so you still have to start figuring out why. So we came up with some reasons why we say the three ball. I say Steph Curry, not him individually, but people.
The three ball, a lack of fundamentals, style of play. We already know that the load management right, rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And the prices, dude. There's a lot of stuff that pushed fans away.
Price is getting crazy out here. All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-99 on Fox. We want to hear from you. Let's take some calls. Let's go to Paul in Texas. Paul, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. Paul,
hey, Uncle Rob Parker. Love the addition of Kelvin Washington. Love the show, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, buddy.
My thing is, last game I went to was last year with Rockets and Bucks, and I want to say I was probably not even halftime. The score was getting close to 100 points. And all it was is shoot a three, run to the other side, shoot a three, run to the other side. And as I was watching the game, all these kids in front of me, like 10, 12-year-olds, are all excited. And I was like, this is not enjoyable. And this is going to be the last game I ever go to.
Wow.
This is the last game I ever come and see. And sure enough, now there's a game on TV. I don't even bother watching it. But as I was listening to you guys, I think I just realized it's just more the generational. I'm 41 years old, so I think anybody in their 30s and older, they're getting pushed off, where maybe the 10-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, that's just kind of what they're going to be getting used to. It's just a generational shift.
No, I get that, but people aren't watching, but they're watching other sports. That's the part. So it says something about the game. And I'll say this, Paul. Remember, it wasn't that long ago where baseball had the issue of either a strikeout or a home run.
Yep.
Fans didn't like that game. Nobody wants to see a strikeout or a home run.
And that's what threes
and
are.
10 pitching changes. Nobody wanted to see that.
Yep, and that's why I give baseball credit. They all right, we got to change something, and they started to figure it out. And ultimately, look, man, y'all getting all this money because of TV deals, and if TV ratings go down, TV places are going to be like, what we paying y'all billions of dollars for? Ain't nobody watching. And last point, take a quick call. Paul was right. I coached my daughter's little team. It was like 4 to 6 year olds. When I tell you at 6-year-olds on a little 8-foot rim, chucking up from half court, it was the craziest thing to see, Rob, because all their favorite players, that's what they do. So no one was trying to, get to the hole, pass it, mid-range. It was just all chuck it up. And I'm like, what is going on? Even in 4 to 6-year-olds? Let's take some more calls.
And you know what? I coached a little toddler team, 2-year and 3-year-olds, and when they had a load management problem with something else.
Hey, I ain't gonna be able to play
Alex,
today, Coach. I ain't gonna be. This is Alex face.
Rob, I love you. That's all I'll say.
Obi in L.A. Obi, you're on the Odd Cover.
Save us,
Rob
Obi.
and Kelvin, what's up?
Mr. Parker, when are you going to be? When is your next comedy show, Mr. Parker?
I know. I got to get back on
it.
stage. After the Super Bowl in March, I'm getting back on the stage, all right?
I'm waiting for it. I wanted to say that, first of all, thank you for talking about the fact that coaches and teams themselves have to blame for this. When a coach tells a player they're not playing, players typically listen to their coaches and they don't play. And I think a lot of these coaches are falling into this bad trap that you mentioned that, we're just going to wait for the playoffs. Number two, it's going to take a brave coach, a brave team to go against the grain and bring back post-play and mid-range and have that win. And when that wins, then some people will start moving back to that. That's my opinion. I think that
No. I don't disagree.
No, I don't. Yeah, I bring up a good point. Thank you for the call, and that's why.
Thank you.
Thanks, Obi.
Yeah, that's why Jokic was important. We started to see, you can operate from inside out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the Denver Nuggets didn't just chuck up a lot of threes. Jamal Murray, mid-range a lot of times. Jokic, we already know what he was doing.
What's wrong with Kawhi Leonard, mid-range?
And went all the way to the championship. We ain't seen the Raptors since. And so it absolutely works. Let's squeeze in one more. Let's go to Andrew in Bakersfield. Andrew, you're on the Odd Couple. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington.
What's up, guys? For me, it's load management and injuries. All the injuries. I played soccer. I think these guys should train with professional soccer players. But the load management. My friend and I grew up playing in his driveway. He was Nick Van Exel. I was Eddie Jones for the Lakers.
Yeah.
And our friend had season tickets to the Lakers. And he's like, they're playing the Raptors. So we got the tickets. We went to the game for the Raptors. And guess what? We saw Vince Carter and we saw Kobe Bryant. And it turns out that that's the game where Kobe scores 81 points.
Oh, wow.
And if Kobe wasn't playing, never would have happened.
Nope.
Yeah, you saw that's a magical one for sure. Hey, thank you for the call. Yeah, they got to come on, man. We got to compete. And I mentioned it earlier. Defense, man, they used to regular games matter. Regular season on a Wednesday, it mattered. Because you ain't about to come in our house and we about to show you what's up. Use your files. Shoot, you get 6 of them. Play hard. But and again, maybe there's a little bit of humbug, get off my lawn, but man, I need a little bit. Meet me in the middle. Like you said with the All-Star game, I can't have a score of 392 to 250.
It's ridiculous. Like,
ain't nobody got time
basketball.
And I am their big, I am the person. They're like, I love it. I watch it. I support. I'm all in. But even I'm like, enough is enough. Like, come on. And again, the load management makes you like, well, when y'all start to care, let me know. So they got to figure out something to get that going. And we'll have more conversations. Actually, Joe Varden covers the NBA for The Athletic just in a moment here. Right now, Monty Bolaños.
I'm with you, Kelvin. I am like the target audience. Basketball is my favorite, and I can't defend the sport. Like right now, people are like, I can't stand it. I'm like, I hear you. All of the list of things.
It's hard to argue with somebody who says that right now. It is.
It really is. And all of the things you guys listed, that's the problem. It's not one thing.
Nope.
We have a list of things that we can check off that are going wrong with the league. And I think about baseball, right? Because it's like baseball has so many games. But you know what? Out of 162 games, Aaron Judge is probably going to play 160 of them. Mm-hmm. Like that's the guarantee with baseball is you're going to see some stars no matter when you go to a game. In the NBA, you don't know. You don't know.
You don't know, and it's that they're not playing for listen, a guy is hurt. I get it, as long, but they're starting to just like, oh, I'm hurt enough that remember that
You're
thing we're
tweaked.
trying to do?
Yes.
Yeah, we're trying to have this system where I don't play on the back-to-back, and then if I'm hurt a little bit, man,
Get
come
out
on,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I need
Come
you to play
on.
through this. The reason why y'all getting this money is because the guys played 82 and they built this fan base up. They built the equity with the fans and the trust. Don't lose that. Don't hurt that.
lose that. Yeah, but hopefully the NBA is like a trend in fashion and it'll make its way back around.
Bell bottoms.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Hopefully it'll make its way back around.
Joining the show now is Joe Varden, covers the NBA for The Athletic. Joe Varden on Twitter. What's up, Joe? How are you?
What's up, Joe?
What's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Rob? Good to talk to you, my guy. How's everybody
Yes, doing great. Always great to talk to you. And we're talking about, jump in on this conversation about the NBA and the ratings. Football ratings are up. Baseball had a banner year in ratings. Women's college basketball. We could go around. The ratings are down, and Kelvin has the numbers since
2012. Joe, this is crazy.
Down 48? Is that
48%. You would think, okay, maybe some novelty thing. Like, let's say it was UFC, or maybe it's going down. The NBA down 48% since 2012 is crazy.
Yeah. I guess I'm surprised by that number. I mean, some of it I would have said without the context of knowing what you just said about the NFL. I would have said, the streaming has a lot to do with that. But I mean, look, this is my 11th NBA season. I love my job. It's an awesome job. The season's too long. It is. And that's why, I've got the Knicks and Hawks on my screen now and an NBA Cup game and flying to Vegas tomorrow. I mean, that's why this exists, to try to generate some interest in a season that takes more than 6 months to complete.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's down
this, too?
10% too.
The style of play, the threes, Joe. I mean, I gave another stat. You ready? In 2014, 2015, the Warriors averaged 31.6 threes per game. They were first in the NBA. And now you fast forward to now, and the Toronto Raptors average 31.1 threes. They're dead last in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we're hearing, that the style of play has taken too much out of the game for a number of reasons. On the first thing, it's like it pretty much comes down to whoever makes more threes wins. And then the second thing, and I don't know if this is good or if this is bad. I can go both ways. But you can fall down by 20 or 22, 25, and still
Get
win.
back. Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
And when I started, those 2014, 15 Cavs, if you were down 20, you lost. And now I just feel like almost nothing that we see for 3 quarters really makes that much of a difference. Like you are in the game regardless until the final buzzer sounds.
It's an interesting point right there. We are joined, of course, by Joe Varden, covers the NBA for The Athletic. Joe, I want to ask you about some of the teams in the East that we had high hopes for. Philadelphia 76ers. Now, what are they going to do? Because Joel Embiid plays, he doesn't play. Plays, he doesn't play. He's hurt, he can't play back-to-backs. Paul George, no, man, trust us, this season's going to turn around. Paul George doesn't even play. They were supposed to be a top 1, 2, 3 seed in the East. Is it time to move on from Joel Embiid? It's time to move on from Paul George. What are they going to do? Because they're supposed to have the big 3, including Tyrese Maxey, and that's not the case.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know where you would start trying to move a player like Joel. I guess in another, how we've just been kind of talking about how long these seasons are and how you're never out of it. Like the Sixers could certainly wind up being the most dangerous 10 seed of all time. All they have to do is make the play-in healthy, and then you're telling me that Joel and Maxey and Paul George can't win 2 road games against 2 other teams that aren't very good? Like, of course that could happen. Then they get into a 1-8 matchup with Cleveland, and there's issues there. So, I mean, for as ugly as this has been, and Joel, The thing about Joel is, he's been in the league all this time now, and we've heard time and again about how many question marks there are with his body. And, you worry that some of those things that maybe we'd lost sight of a little bit, like maybe if they're coming back, and the concerns and the red flags that were raised all those years ago, like maybe now they're coming home to roost. I mean, there's a knee issue that obviously is lingering. Joel insists there isn't a new injury. He's not the only one who says that, but okay, he's not getting better. So you are concerned there. But he's still dominant if he can play in any kind of physical condition at all. And the new rules, like I said, guys, the new rules are such that if they could just get it together by March even, they would have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs.
Yep. Let me ask you the story about LeBron desperately wants to win a championship with Bronny. I just can't imagine that's on his mind right now. I understand about winning, but winning with Bronny, who's had a rough start to his NBA career, that would even be on his radar rather than trying to get his team together. I just don't see the Lakers moving LeBron anywhere and anybody trying to take on Bronny and LeBron.
No. Today was quite a day out there. On the one hand, LeBron is not with the team. And the last
That's right. He has a personal day in the NBA.
Yeah, it's not even just a personal day, Rob. He wasn't there yesterday either. He's gone. And of course he'll come back, but it's pretty wild to think about this. He did this 10 years ago, almost, I don't want to say to the day because it was a few weeks from now, 10 years ago, but it was here. He was so worn out by David Blatt. His body felt terrible. The Cavs weren't that good. He didn't feel very good, and he checked out. He was gone for 2 weeks. I think he went to Florida for a while, and then he rejoined the team on this West Coast trip that we all went on. And this just reminds me and some of the other people who remember that time, it reminds me of that. And you just hope that for his sake that the rest gets him back going where he wants to be. He's going to turn 40 here in 3 weeks, and he's averaging 23 points a game, which is insane for a 40-year-old, but also it's the second lowest scoring average of his career. He's got a negative plus-minus for the first time ever.
And his defensive rating is awful. Was next to last, right, or last?
Yeah, Rob, this has been coming,
Yeah, we've seen this.
He hasn't played hard defensively most nights for several years, and that wears on a team. And if you think about the Lakers last year, and they had to point the players why aren't you playing Rui? Why aren't you playing bigger? Well, the reason that they wanted that is because they knew that LeBron really can only defend maybe 1 day a week. And so those other 3 games a week, 2-3 games a week, the Lakers are playing 4-on-5 on defense, 3.5 on 5 if you've got Torian out there too. And that's hard. That's really hard. And it leads to losses in the regular season. You have a worse standing come playoff time. It just adds up. So what's happening with LeBron doesn't surprise me. His certainly his experience and his will to win and his ego and all that would plant this thought that he's going to win a championship with Bronny. But we know what's going on with Bronny right now, and he's going to play road games in the G League, which is a signal that this hasn't gotten off to a great start. And they're just, the Lakers and Bronny are a long way from that right now. It's just the truth.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But it's been starting to hear a lot of finality talk lately, with I only got a year or 2 left, and I want to do this before I retire. Starting to hear that for the first time with LeBron. Joe, thank you so much for joining us, brother. We appreciate Joe Varden.
Yes, Joe.
Joe Varden on Twitter. Give him a follow. Thank you.
Hey, Joe, I'm going to see Chris for breakfast on Friday. I'll say you said hello.
Oh, please do that. And it was great to meet you and great to talk to you guys as always.
Great to meet you. Good talking to you, Joe. I appreciate it again. Joe Varden on Twitter. Make sure you give him a follow.
Him and Chris go back to their days in Cleveland.